Australia's federal election, a 5-week battle for the nation's future. The Australian political landscape is bracing for a 5-week showdown, as Prime Minister Anthony Albanese officially launched Labor's re-election campaign. With polls suggesting a neck-and-neck race against the coalition led by Peter Dutton, the nation holds its breath, awaiting the May 3rd election day verdict. The campaign promises to be a whirlwind of policy debates, passionate appeals, and intense scrutiny of both major parties' platforms. Albanese, embarking on his bid for a second term, launched his campaign with a visit to the Governor-General, signaling the official start of this crucial electoral battle. His message resonated with key Labor initiatives: significant tax cuts unveiled in the recent budget, unwavering support for Medicare and bulk billing to ensure accessible health care, and a commitment to alleviate the burden of student debt. These planks of the Labor platform are designed to appeal directly to the concerns of everyday Australians. Albanese's campaign narrative centers on a stark contrast between Labor's vision and the legacy of the previous coalition government. He powerfully asserts that it was always going to take more than 3 years to clean up 10 years of mess, underscoring the magnitude of the task undertaken by his administration and setting the stage for a sustained critique of his opponents. This critique is sharp and targeted. Albanese launched a passionate attack on Dutton's proposal to drastically cut the public service by 41,000 positions. He powerfully illustrated the detrimental impact of such cuts by recounting his encounters with public servants in Hervey Bay, Queensland, who tirelessly worked amidst the devastation caused by recent floods, often from temporary offices, ensuring flood victims received their due compensation. This anecdote serves as a potent counterpoint to Dutton's proposed cuts, highlighting the essential services provided by public servants and the human cost of such reductions. Labor currently holds a precarious 2-seat majority in the lower house, with 78 seats. Albanese, displaying unwavering confidence, maintains that his government can secure a second term outright, despite numerous opinion polls predicting a hung parliament, a scenario where no single party commands a majority. This confident assertion sets the tone for a campaign focused on securing even more seats than currently held. Meanwhile, Peter Dutton, aiming to lead the coalition back to power after their resounding defeat in 2022, a defeat that saw the loss of 19 seats, including 6 traditionally safe seats to independent Teal candidates, has unveiled a 12-point plan to revitalize the nation's trajectory. This ambitious plan includes contentious proposals such as replacing coal-fired power stations with nuclear reactors, a controversial policy likely to dominate the campaign's energy debate. Further, his proposals aim to curtail immigration to alleviate housing pressures and drastically reduce government spending, particularly targeting the public service, a position directly at odds with Albanese's perspective. Dutton's budget reply speech further highlighted his commitment to having the fuel excise for a year and increasing gas supply to combat rising prices, aiming to appeal to voters grappling with cost-of-living pressures. The coalition's electoral strategy is multifaceted, focusing on key battlegrounds. Victoria, where the state government's unpopularity could benefit the coalition, is a prime target. Similarly, they are focusing their efforts on outer suburban and regional seats in NSW. However, their hopes in Western Australia, where the Liberals suffered significant losses in 2022, have been tempered by their underwhelming performance in last month's state election. This highlights the challenges the coalition faces in regaining lost ground and rebuilding their electoral base. Beyond the 2 major parties, the Greens and the Teal independents are poised to play a significant role. Aiming to retain the seats won in the 2022 election, they could potentially become kingmakers in the event of a hung parliament, a scenario that is increasingly looking likely. Adam Bandt, leader of the Greens, remains optimistic about the party's prospects despite a series of recent setbacks in state, territory, and council elections. This adds another layer of complexity to the election, with the smaller parties potentially wielding significant influence in the post-election negotiations. The upcoming 5 weeks promise an electrifying clash of ideologies and policy proposals. The Australian electorate will closely scrutinize the promises made by both major parties, as well as the potential influence of minor parties and independents. The result will not only shape the nation's political landscape for the next 3 years, but also determine the course of vital policy debates on healthcare, climate change, the economy, and social justice. The race is on, and the stakes are incredibly high. The Australian people will ultimately decide which vision for the nation's future will prevail.